Hey there, innovation champions. Melissa Denwitty here. I'm about to tell you a story about a poster that I created way back in April of 2016 before I wrote my book, The Creative Sandbox Way. But here's the thing. I almost didn't share this story because I wanted it to fit perfectly with my theme this week of summer momentum. And the story took place in April, and I kept thinking, but it wasn't summer. How can I make this work for a midsummer newsletter? And that is exactly the kind of perfectionist thinking that keeps us stuck. So here I am modeling my own principles in real time, because the truth is, this April story actually contains everything that you need to know about maintaining momentum when the world around you is saying, hey, slow down, whether that's because of summer heat or vacation schedules or any other seasonal excuse that our brains cook up. So I decided to go ahead and tell a story. So let me paint a picture. It's April 2016, and I am sitting in my studio, what other people might call their home office. And I've got this vision. I want to make a poster of my 10 Creative Sandbox Way guideposts. This is before I even wrote my book, The Creative Sandbox Way. I had these guideposts that I really desperately want to create turn into a poster. And for 2 years, I'd been carrying this idea around like this heavy backpack. But I was always finding reasons why, now just isn't the right time. Let me know if that sounds familiar to you. If you are like most of the brilliant minds that I work with, there's always something, there's always some reason why innovation or some idea, some project feels impossible. Spring's too busy, summer's too slow, fall's too intense, winter's too dark. There's always some reason. But here's what I discovered on that transformative April day. Sometimes the very excuse that we're using is exactly the perfectionist trap that we need to break free from. On that particular Tuesday in April, I was procrastinating on the poster project yet again, and my gremlins were having a field day. It's not the right time, they whispered, or, probably shouted actually. You should wait until you have more inspiration. Maybe summer, when you have more creative energy. I mean, any reason, honestly. But then something clicked, and I realized that I was doing exactly what my Creative Sandbox Way was designed to combat. I was letting perfectionist thinking keep me stuck. So I did something kind of radical. I applied my own framework to the very framework that I was trying to create. So first of all, I reminded myself there is no wrong, and that's guidepost number 1. And then I told my gremlins to take a vacation. Actually, what I really like to do is I tell my gremlins to go get a pedicure. Go off and get a pedicure. And then most importantly, I decided to just start anywhere. That's guidepost number 5. And that is the guidepost that I turn to most frequently. And the result was that I basically created the poster over the course of a weekend. It's kind of typical. Not because the conditions were perfect, they definitely weren't, but because I stopped waiting for, the right season, and I used my framework as fuel instead of an excuse. And if you want a poster, this is what it looks like. Actually, this is 2 posters together. This is the Creative Sandbox Manifesto, my Creative Sandbox guideposts, along with another poster that I created later, which is my Imperfectionist Manifesto. You can get both of them at the link in the description. Now, let's fast forward to today. And here's what's fascinating about innovation during any, slow season, whether it's summer heat or spring overwhelm or any other time when conventional wisdom says to pause, take a slow down, while everyone else is slowing down. The most creative breakthroughs often happen when we lean into the discomfort rather than away from it. My April poster breakthrough taught me something really crucial that applies perfectly to summer momentum. Innovation doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It thrives when we stop making excuses about timing. And this connects directly to my Create the Impossible framework. 3 steps of the framework if you've been following me at all. So first we got play hard. Any season's energy, including summer's informal vibe, any season's energy creates the perfect playground for innovation. When the usual structures relax, that's when the magic happens. Step 2, make crap. The sort of lazy days of summer or really any slower period, those are really ideal for rapid prototyping without the pressure of perfection that the busier seasons often bring. And then finally, learn fast. Step number 3, with fewer kind of formal meetings and processes during the slower periods, summer creates space for the kind of experimental learning that drives breakthrough thinking. So let's talk about the science. Neuroscience tells us something really counterintuitive. Our brains are actually primed for creativity when we're just slightly outside of our normal patterns, whether that's summer heat, disrupting our usual routines, or just simply breaking free from, it's not the right time thinking, like I did back in April of 2016. A study published in Organizational Science found that mild disruption to routine, like working in a slightly different environment or breaking free from seasonal thinking, can actually enhance creative thinking by preventing our minds from falling into those predictable patterns. When we're too comfortable with our excuses, whether it's seasonal or otherwise, our brains just default to familiar neural pathways. Just think about like a horse plodding along a trail, right? And just do. And a little disruption to our usual, this isn't the right time thinking, that's when new connections form. So back to my April story, because it illustrates something really crucial about maintaining momentum when we think conditions are not ideal. Once I started creating, that sort of perfect timing excuse became completely irrelevant. I was in flow. I played with lettering styles and I played with colors. And I made what felt like really terrible first attempts. And I learned really rapidly from each iteration. And the poster I created wasn't just a visual representation of my guideposts. It became living proof that they worked, regardless of season or circumstance. And that poster went on to become one of my most popular downloads. It was shared thousands of times across social media, printed and hung on office walls from Silicon Valley to Singapore. All because I stopped waiting for the right time and I started creating anyway. So, how do you harness momentum when everything around you says slow down or wait for better timing? Here are 3 things to consider. 1, embrace seasonal disruption as creative fuel. Instead of fighting summer's different energy or really any seasonal shift, use it. Whether it's the heat making you think differently, or vacation schedules forcing you to work in new ways. Let the disruption enhance your creativity. 2, create seasonal shifts. Use any slower period to your advantage. Design short, intensive creative sessions, 25 minutes of focused innovation, followed by a break. These often produce more breakthrough thinking than hours of traditional brainstorming during really busy seasons. And 3, play with whatever season you're in. Every season has its own energy, and that's innovation gold. Summer's playful vibe, spring's renewal energy, autumn's harvest focus, winter's introspective depth. They all offer unique creative advantages if you stop fighting them and start using them. The real secret to maintaining momentum isn't about fighting seasonal rhythms or waiting for perfect timing. It's about recognizing that innovation doesn't pause for weather or schedules or someday when conditions are better. Some of history's greatest innovations happened during what seemed like the wrong time. Steve Jobs conceptualized the iPhone during a summer retreat. Lin-Manuel Miranda got the idea for Hamilton while reading a biography on vacation. I created my breakthrough poster on just a random April weekend when I stopped making excuses. And your breakthrough idea doesn't care if it's July or January, April or October. It only cares that you create the conditions for it to emerge, starting with dropping that perfect timing excuse. So, your challenge this week, pick one project that's been sitting in your someday pile, your version of my poster project, and this week, apply the Create the Impossible framework. Play hard. Approach it with curiosity rather than pressure. Make crap. Create the worst possible first version. And learn fast. Iterate quickly without waiting for perfect conditions or timing. Remember, the best time to start isn't someday when conditions are perfect. It's right now with whatever season, with whatever weather, with whatever circumstances you've got. The most serious business is play, especially when conventional wisdom says to wait for better timing. Ready to create a more playful environment that drives breakthrough innovation in your team or organization? Click the link in the description to book a complimentary innovation strategy session. Let's explore how the Create the Impossible framework can help you transform your leadership approach to unlock unprecedented creativity and innovation through the power of strategic play. If you found these insights about innovation through play valuable, hit that like button and subscribe to join our community of innovation champions. Don't forget to ring that notification bell so you never miss a new strategy for driving creativity and innovation in your work. And I'd love to know your thoughts on this topic. Have you ever experienced the power of play in solving work challenges? What happened when your team embraced a more playful approach to problem solving? Or maybe you're still skeptical about mixing fun with serious business. Share your insights in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay playful, and keep creating the impossible. See you next time. Ciao. Better.